sometimes, so not going the more utility route, and just when you give him so much zone and so much tank in front of him, you know, the disengage potential between Syndra and Nami, we haven't seen that combo a lot because Nami's kind of fallen out of favor, but it's really hard to get back to that Caitlyn.
For sure, and we'll hit the rift one last time, maybe second to last time, who knows. LGD, if they pick up this win, it will be the 2-0 on our second best of 3 today. Up against Snake. And PYL has gone for Golden Koi Nami. Cool.
That's a gamble.
I actually really like when Chinese players spam their remotes and stuff, because obviously it's a different game client, so I get to hear the Mandarin version.
Best Mandarin voices, Kog'Maw and Mundo, as well as
Rumble.
Rumble is
Super Galaxy Rumble.
pretty solid.
The 6 seconds of deflating.
This is what I want to see, and this is what I expected from Tank. So it is Courage of the Colossus Rise. Against the Syndra makes sense, will really help deal with a lot of that burst damage and survive the lane there. Otherwise, everything looking pretty stock standard.
Yeah, fun to load from Nami as well. Maybe expecting a win speakers there, but...
Well, the thing is you're Caitlyn, so you do have push priority, but you also have trade priority now because you have the added sustain as well as the Thunderlords there on Nami. So there's just multiple flexible ways that LGD could win the bottom lane. Still dealing with Karma. She's obnoxious, but I'm going to give Imp and PYL the benefit of the doubt. They're the longest standing duo to be together in the LPL. No other bot lane has been together for as long as these two have.
And I think, like, if there was any bot lane that was going to challenge him from Snake, it would be the OQ lane with Mo. But Mint comes back in, and we've seen consistent performances from Mo. I'm never just like, oh, look at this guy, he's just killed everybody. But he does have really nice, just consistent performances where he does well. And
something that really separates Mo from other LPL supports is the fact that he's really comfortable on these mage supports. For the longest time, I mean, week 1 and week 2 was pretty much just the Tom Kench show. And yeah, Kench was banned this game, but Mo is one of the few guys that'll reach for the Zyro, that'll pull out the Karma and look comfortable on it. Because historically, LPL supports just throw their face in it.
Sure. SofM just taking a pretty standard route. He started off on those Raptors. Now he's going up against Blue Buff. I think Blue Buff. Okay, he's good. I was just like, if he does, that's fine. I was like, maybe he's actually going to lose this 1v1 because he didn't get the greatest support in the world, I think, from Raptors.
I know the last time we saw SofM, it didn't look too good, but I promise he's a good jungler.
Yeah. For sure. And if you are first time watching, you know, just assume that didn't happen mid lane. Trade happening, Tank versus Godby. Remember, Godby did get that 1v1 kill against Tank underneath his tower in that last laning phase 1v1.
But I like the fact, you know, we expect this of Godby, that he'll step forward, he'll just try to, you know, brute force you out of lane. Do the swag walk, if you will, but Tank, normally kind of the more conservative, more reserved mid laner, usually takes a step back, but Tank this time around, stepping forward. He's trying to meet Godby toe-to-toe.
No, he's going in, and so is Funny in the top lane up against this Singe. SofM is just chasing down PYL, and he's completely isolated. He'll have to flash over the wall and lose most of his health.
Remember those silly things that we talked about that PYL does? We're going to hold that thought, because Amy's in the top lane.
All
but
right,
remember,
we're going to have to cheese it, Flandre. Will he use his ghost? I mean, he's locked up to follow after from... Oh, the flash as well from Funny. I mean, that's just a secure kill.
Silly things, like overextending when you don't have eyes on the enemy jungle. Meanwhile, response, SofM, going to make it happen.
Im's pushed up. There is a chance for it to happen.
Here comes the ping.
He's talking. He's pinging. Mince.
PYL's like, see ya, mate.
I mean, Imp, yeah, he's still pushed up. Mo's going to follow after. He'll flash away, and SofM just shows his face and he walks away. So, there was a flash burnt in the bottom lane, but it's not the end of the world. He's going to stick around, though.
Punish them. Nami still doesn't have flash. The only summoner that you're dealing with is the heal. But I believe the creep wave, yeah, because they've got an extra creep, is actually just going to bounce back, so Imp's going to be patient. This is sketch.
That was a good ward from PYL.
But Funny has teleport if things really go sideways. He's sitting on base just watching them. He's not walking top lane at all.
Thunderlord's damage. Level 2 Nami kicking that Khazix out of lane. And he'll go back to base now, pulling this push. But all that pressure, at the very least, did allow Snake's bottom lane just to push this wave into tower. Imp's still going to have a massive gold lead and CS lead regardless of that fact, but it gives a nice back time for Mint, so he can go back and get that serrated Dirk.
And this CS lead has really been built up from level 1 when there wasn't an extra member applying pressure on his lane just because they were abusing Mint and Mo, zoning them off the back of the caster creeps, until PYL did something silly like face check randomly without knowing where the jungler is, and just PYL things.
Regardless of that kill going down in the top lane, it went over to Amy, and Flandre TP'd back into top lane, so he had the shove, which is why he's ahead in CS, while Funny actually still has his TPs, so Snake needs to be aware of this, that the fact that the TP priority is on LGD.
And even more dangerous, the fact that Camille is level 5, close to that level 6 mark, so it means that much more, so Snake just now just completely losing all pressure on the bottom lane, despite the fact that they have a summoner advantage because Camille could come down there.
I mean, it's exacerbated, right, between all of this and the fact that LGD do have these pushing and winning lanes that you mentioned in Champions Tech for us. So Snake do need to be aware of this, and for now, Tank, I was going to say he's just going to farm it out, but he's actually just going to run after Godby and combo him.
Yeah, and it's the cooldown window. So the fact that Godby doesn't connect with Scatter of the Weak and doesn't land the stun immediately allows Tank to step forward to try to trade aggressively like that. So again, we talked about how Tank is normally reserved. Normally he'll take a step back, but he's meeting Godby in his aggression.
Sure, he'll see those windows and he will go onto them. SofM. He looks for a couple ganks, but mainly he's just farming his jungle. While his opposition Amy is sub coming in here for LGD. Is doing his rounds and is doing really well. Nice trade back there from Godby, but he is low on mana. He is level 6 now, so Unleashed Power is available, but he just doesn't have all the full combo for himself. SofM
could pick up the honey fruit, however.
Yeah, it will be a long trip because it is down all the way down there. Finny gets a full combo onto Flandre, but for now, Flandre is doing a pretty decent job. He's doing exactly what he wants to.
This is dangerous. LGD's, that's really brave for SofM. LGD's bot lane have the inside track in the rotation. Again, they don't have their flashes, so maybe just playing a bit more conservatively. Would rather kind of stick in the lane and punish Mo, who's still only level 3, but this kind of leaves Amy out.
This is Syndra coming down. The Leap is already being used. If he gets caught by Scatter the Weak, he's pretty much done for. Unleashed Power lands to follow up the Force of Will. The Q! Godby finds the kill in the jungle. SofM way too deep.
And that is not the foot that you want to restart your career on for SofM, although Godby now in some trouble.
Tank's following after, but he's low on mana, and Amy's here as well, so I'm not entirely sure this is a trade he necessarily wants. E comes out, he's locked up, gets the knock up. Tank will take a trip back to base.
Unfortunately, limps away, still has his flash, so not suspecting much danger, but now Amy and Godby just rushing to get this wave pushed into the tower. Now bot!
Lots of damage coming down. He's going to have to flash away. Imp is being followed after by Mo, who's still in very good shape before he gets poked out by PYL.
Okay, let's take a breather. I feel like the screen's just been rocketing around in the river, in the mid lane, now the bottom lane.
Everyone wants to fight.
Anytime they get information, KX used to laugh about this all the time when we were scrimming over in China and called Chinese bottom lanes the 500 unit bottom lanes, because anytime they had any eyes on jungler and they were within 500 units of an enemy, they'd flash ignite and go all in.
That's pretty much what's happening in bot lane, maybe outside of the ignite. For now, Flandre is in such a good position as Mo once again caught by Aqua Prison. He's just running around doing whatever he wants to do.
Rough, though, that wasn't communicated that PYL would hit the bubble because the Pilt over Peacemaker was used on the creep wave when it could have actually just put on the Karma and had some kill pressure there. That said, they're still chipping away at their health.
Chipping away at their health, massive minion wave advantage, and the tower's also being chipped away at. So, all in all, LGD's bottom lane still in really good shape. Godby maintaining this advantage. And this time, it was a successful blue buff trade to that mid laner. We've seen many go wrong today.
And nothing is going right for Snake's lanes. They're trying to pass over this blue. They could make an opportunity to play bottom, but the fact that SofM was kind of put on the back foot from dying in River, again, we say this about his playstyle. He likes to make sure he's ahead before he helps get his lanes ahead, and that makes him a very selfish and a very greedy jungler. He has the highest CS per minute of any jungler in the league, so he likes to sit there and farm, but it may be at the expense of the team because they're drowning in their lanes.
With these sub-ins of SofM and Mint, it was not an issue of them being better, but it was just like now they have a host of new issues that are really just plaguing the team. And you can see it represented in this game so far. Amy putting pressure onto this bottom lane. Mo and Mint have found him, and the team's coming out, so this could be a good play. But what a scan of the week in from Godby. The blast plant will allow them to catch up. Flandre gets the fling, instant kill onto Amy. But that will not convert into anything else. Maybe they get this dragon, though.
And reminder that Funny had teleport, so LGD could have made the call to follow, so they clearly said, no, stay top, we can disengage from this. Unfortunately, Amy was cut out because it was a nice blast plant usage by Snake. But you can still see, you know, cross-map communication. And even though they pick up the kill, it really doesn't mean that much for Snake in turning the tides of this game.
Yeah, Flandre walked all the way back up to top lane just in time to catch this next minion wave. At the very least for LGD, it did allow Funny to catch up on farm despite losing that kill, but they are still ahead in these lanes. And Camille definitely hasn't been shut down, so that's another thing in the back of Snake's mind.
And this bottom lane is just getting more and more volatile for Snake. have to highlight that, you know, SofM and Tank were on the bottom side of the map initially first because they were handing over the blue buff. SofM then goes to Gromp, and then Wolves and starts moving towards the top side of the map while LGD are setting up to dive his bottom side. Again, no one is coming to save them.
Call also not made there from Snake to actually take away this Ocean Dragon, which is exceptionally good in these laning phases and would alleviate a lot of pressure from these laners. But as a result, they don't pick up the Dragon, they send Flandre back top lane, they lose bot lane tower, and LGD from that kill, almost like nothing happened.
First tower goes down. This is pretty stock standard. It's what we saw last time around. If they follow true to formula, this should mean that Imp will push this in and then disappear, go top lane. So Flandre, with all of his time and his CS lead, it might mean nothing in the end if he has to deal with the duo.
Imp's going to get a big buy. He is 1,400 gold ahead of Mint right now. He just picked up 750 gold from that tower. So he's going to be a very rich Caitlyn as he goes back to base. Yep. Good.
What?
Double BF sword? Yeah, no, sell that. Okay. Seal picked up. That's a man who double clicks.
That's an APM.
Yeah. He is a little bit hypey right now, but no, he's in a really good situation as a Caitlyn. May look to transition this to mid lane once he collects the rest of this mini wave and pushes it out. So the tempo will continue from LGD.
But there is a window now, knowing that Imp was back and they're trying to reset their lanes. Snake don't know what their lane assignments will be. They don't have eyes on where Caitlyn is just yet, and they're trying to catch someone.
Doesn't look like the trap
Ships
is
passing the
yeah,
night.
doesn't look like the trap is going to close on anyone just now. Again, Tank has found himself in this 1v1 against Imp, but it's now 2v1 as PYL is there. Ultimatum onto Flandre. It's not going to be a kill, but it's going to be a decent amount of damage as Flandre wants to get the fling off there. In the end, Amy does not decide to go to the top lane. It's just a bit of harass from Funny.
Yep, having to deal with the sustain of both these obnoxious champions, Singed and Camille. Oh, that's just rude.
Yeah, I mean, he's just being annoying. And actually, in the end, that does help Snake take away this dragon.
And it's just a difference of priorities. The fact is that LGD could have turned on the Ocean Dragon wherever they wanted. They had the ability to set up a pressure advantage because they have control of the bottom lane. They would just rather farm it. It's an Ocean Drake. Yeah, I like Ocean pre 15 minutes, especially when you're doing a lot of the roaming around on the map. But for LGD, it's like, we just want our items.
Yeah, stay in lane, get the farm. And that train of thought has resulted in CS leads in every single role, apart from support. But overall, LGD are in really good shape, and they're looking for maybe a gank to happen in this mid lane, or SofM is just roaming around the jungle with Mo now, finding a pick and just getting him rolling. He did get that initial one kill, but the only kill on Snake.
And that's a lot of vision expended just to kind of trade red buffs there. I mean, I like the idea from Snake that they're teaming up. You know, they've got that really strong, straight line, every single bush lit up in LGD's red jungle. But good heads-up play from LGD not to kind of wander into harm's way, which is surprising for them.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, like, they had some really good calls last game, even being on the back foot for most of it, if not all of it, up until the point where they won. And LGD this time being ahead, it's nice to see them, the fact that they can play from ahead and make the right calls. They just need to convert that now, and I definitely have more faith in them than I did Snake in the last game.
And the nice thing about this composition and this iteration of LGD's style is that it's not a Caitlyn Orianna, so they're not waiting for kind of that big 3-item power spike on both their carries. Syndra can take over the mid game while we're still waiting for Imp's Caitlyn to ramp up.
Hitting that 2-item, but when he does hit those 2 items, and he will do that quite early, Snake will need to start playing around that. Meanwhile, Godby on his way to this top lane. He's starting to lay down these dark spheres. He hits one onto SofM. I mean, that's pretty much kill range. Yep, he knows it. SofM flashes away. Got to be very scary right now.
But still, the real target is going to be this tower, and it surely will fall for LG. They've got about to 50%. We could still see a big fight over this.
Mint and Mo on the way into the top lane. SofM, no flash, remember.
Mint could open up his ultimate, and they could chase here. SofM's also sitting around in the wings.
Bot lane just trading blows. It's now essentially a long lane, so you'd think Funny would have a pretty good time against Flandre, but he's not far enough ahead yet. Once he hits that Triforce, he'd definitely be able to make it happen. Mo taking these headshots to the face, and now here's the TP. They really want to keep this one alive. Mo gets the snare. That's a follow-up snare as well from Mint, along with the ultimate. Amy's going to be blocking these one away. SofM following after. Flandre is now TPing into the top lane, so has Funny. Amy, maybe the first one to die, flung into the Mega Adhesive. He'll go down, but Godby in from the mid lane. He has all of these orbs ready to go. Unleash power onto Mo. No way he's going to survive that. Hextech ultimatum onto SofM for another kill. 2 for 2 trade so far. It's Funny looks for the hook shot, but Flandre flings him out out of it as Godby, now walking towards this mid lane, has to flash over the wall. Flandre was looking for him for the second fling.
And the difference between those two team fights and why I'm going to say that Snake came out ahead is the target priority and selection there. The fact is that Syndra got there late to the
flash out
fight.
from Tank, follow the full combo. Funny was there to block it out, but it's still the kill from Mint. Great play from Tank.
And then just exasperated by that, Godby got there late to the fight. And who does he blow up when he gets there? He blows up the support, who's pretty much already done their job. Yeah, she can continue to disengage everyone, but it's not who you want, and we're still fighting.
Welcome to the LPL. Looking for a re-engage on a re-engage. Amy gets the knock-up onto Tank. Godby following up the damage, and Min for a return kill. Not quite going to happen, but Amy is chunked out of this fight, and I think that's Snake are just going to walk away.
They're gonna walk straight forward into them. Here comes Karma.
I mean,
They're still
Flandre
going.
wanted it. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, had there not been a call from someone to back away, Flandre was going in.
Oh god, they pressed B.
All right, let's see that one again. Okay, this all started off with Mo with the initiate.
Okay, and the big thing is, look at your mini-map. Ryze is there. He's going to use his Realm Warp. He closes his distance even farther, and Wayless is going to be the last person into this team fight. Immediately, Amy's going to blow up. That's going to be the most of your CC. Fun is unable to follow anything up. Here comes Syndra, and she blows up the Karma. Meanwhile, Camille has now re-engaged. She kills the AD carry, so your big priority targets and target selection just much better for Snakes, which is why they end up winning this fight.
Yeah, Hextech ultimatum was great onto SofM, but they just lost their ABC in the midst of it. Especially one which is a large portion of their sustained damage at this time. So 17 minutes in, and that was a much better fight from Snake, so they are definitely still alive and kicking. And 2 of those kills went over to Mint as well, so he's definitely caught up in that bottom lane. He's still behind, but it's a much better situation to be in. And it's also worth highlighting that Flandre pretty much unkillable at this stage in the game, as he's still got that advantage over Funny.
And that's the thing, that even though Mint is behind in the CS, because of where Jin gets strong, although hold on.
I mean, it's a Camille 1v2 on the tower, so this is still scary. He's going to jump onto SofM. Hextech ultimates, one more to attack, gets the 1v2 kill onto the tower. Flandre's following after, but he has to run after Funny. He's sticking down from... Oh, he's going to flunk. Yeah, he's dead.
Flung him out of the hook shot.
That probably shouldn't have connected. He was so far away. In the end, LGD do get the top lane tower, and the tidal wave doesn't find Mo, but Godby is coming in from the mid lane. He gets the slowdown. That's a dead Karma. Imp finds the kill, and they will continue pushing onto this next tower.
And we're still going. He's trying to clear out the creep wave, but it's being blocked.
Yeah, and Godby was approaching him to a point where Mint did not want to be here anymore. Takes the top tower, and Flandre's run out of minions. Tank's pushing down the mid lane. But in the end, I think LGD have gotten the better of this trade.
Yeah, that's 2 towers that have fallen before Snake are able to respond. Surely Flandre will be able to push down the bottom outer, but Tank is not making much ground in the mid lane, so still huge swing of tempo advantage in favor of LGD.
Imp has lost
Hello?
red buff. Where is he? Found him. He just steps out of the bush. I mean, I don't think I've seen a buff Duke a player so hard, but that's exactly what happened right there. Flandre just soaked up so much gold in that bottom lane. Multiple waves, a tower, all to himself. So he's staying ahead of the Camille, and that's exactly what he needs to do.
I mean, he's unkillable, but he's not really going to do most of the damage. The problem is that Mint and SofM are still killable. Tank's in a good spot. What we were talking about is that even though Mint is far behind in terms of the CS difference between him and Imp, because of where Jin finds his breakpoints, he's still relevant right now, whereas Imp is kind of going to have to wait between the next 10 to 12 minutes before he comes online, unless he's just gifted a bunch of kills.
I smell a ZZ Rot coming in from Flandre in the near future as he picks up the Raptor Cloak. Funny has finished his Triforce at about 19 minutes, so that is a really big spike for Funny in the next coming team fight and in this 1v1. The fact that we've got essentially almost an item advantage for Flandre in the bottom lane still means that Funny can't kill him, but he's a lot closer than he was.
Well, to be fair, Funny did have to itemize the most expensive item in the game.
Yeah. But we've seen, I think it's just because we've seen so many Camille's get like an early kill and early 2 kills that I've seen it accelerated today, that we're seeing those like 14, 15 minute Triforces, which obviously shouldn't happen. Mid tower goes down over to LGD, just like set up there. SofM has actually gone for the W evolve, so has still decided to go for this build.
And he's actually going much tankier than we normally see of SofM. Yeah, Hex Drinker is a pretty staple and core item, but for SofM, you never really know. The fact that he's going that utility route of leveling up his spells, having the 3-prong slow, if you will, available, so offering more protection for Mint. It's very interesting chasing comp.
I'm just scared for Mo right now, actually. He's just like walking into trap after trap. Godby's around the corner, waiting for him to pounce.
It's really difficult to execute though. So we, had some questions in Champions like, what does Snake's comp really excel at and what do they want to do together? And it really is kind of chase and run you down, but you're trying to chase and run down into A, Camille, who can choose someone like Singe and be like, you're not going anywhere, and B, a Nami and a Syndra, who, that classic combo that Nami throws out the tidal wave, Syndra throws out her stun and can just stall anything that you want to try to set up. That feels good.
Yeah, so that was a full minion wave. Very satisfying. SofM clearing away these wards, rotating toward this middle lane. And this is definitely a game where one piece of CC lands and something goes wrong. Mo almost killed and instantly, and Imp just assassinates the support on these two items. SofM chased down, almost taken out with that second tier of Ace in the Hole. And yeah, Prey Seeker was almost enough to kill SofM. A flash and another flash from Tank will keep him alive, and Piltover eliminates the minion waves. Imp healed up by Nami right there, and Imp, I cannot believe the damage onto Mo right there.
We talked about how this is probably a 10 to 12 minute power spike for Caitlyn to come out. Imp's like, nah, I'm online right this second.
Yeah, he has really been not pulling his punches this game. Flandre kind of doing what he can, but there's a wave of traps that's stopping him from doing anything else. Good stun comes up. Mint forcing all these players back, and Flandre, he's flipping someone. Nope, he's on his way out. He's a little bit too low, but he wanted it. He had the righteous glory.
Imp is playing so well. I know this sounds like so random, but just the way that he perfectly orb blocked while the Jhin ultimate, like using Amy as a shield and making sure that he's creating distance between him and Singe, as well as throwing and weaving in the auto attacks.
Oh, Mo's only just come back. Come on, man. Unleashed Power picks up the kill. God V locked underneath the tower. Tank getting taken out as well. Look at him. He's just going ham underneath the tower. And he goes on to Flandre as well. He's blocked up by the traps. He has to walk all the way around. Now he's maybe caught out of position. He jumps in. SofM having to pick up that kill. But funny, the double wobble from Nami jumps onto Min, finds that kill. Flandre being chased down as well. And this is disastrous from SofM and all of Snake. Flandre, the last member remaining. But Funny's going to find him. Precision protocol for the kill. And the ace for LGD.
Imp is the king. That's all I have to say. Yes, he finally went down. But you have to think, what is the communication? Funny's like, I'm coming in. I've got ultimate. Imp's like, I'm totally fine. Camille's gonna come in and save the day. She's just slightly too late, but that guy is playing out of his mind. This is, again, it's a chase comp, and he is kiting them so beautifully. Yes, he has tools like the Nami and the fact that he's Caitlyn, but still.
And can we just talk about that Nami double bubble real quick, followed by Funny just jumping over the wall, landing a perfect flash out of hookshot, and then just sweeping up the rest of the fight. This was so well played by LGD in terms of a team fight, and just so well executed. It was just honestly fantastic to watch.
And it's incredibly exciting for LGD fans, because normally you don't get to see this LGD until like week 7, when they just try to make that miracle run towards the playoffs. LGD, the fact that they picked up their coach, DGC, formal coach of OMG 2016, over Chinese New Year. Like, think about how hard it is to contact anyone when everyone's out of the city. LGD are showing that they're serious about this year's LPL.
That's really the key of it, like if you are just coming in as a European viewer or anyone else in the world, like everyone just goes AFK over Lunar New Year, but LGD just came in swinging. Imp, however, maybe under attack. Flandre wants him, but he's knocked up. Great Talon Wave in from PYL. They're still going to find the target of Imp, but in the backlines, Funny has gotten Mint himself. It's a 1-for-1 trade ultimately, but there is still Unleashed Power available from God V. So you've got to be careful of that. Full Unleashed Power onto Flandre. He's still tanky to a point where Tank is still following after onto Amy and God V.
Missed it.
He's got the W down. He's got the Rune Prison. And that's reset time for SofM. So all of the praise that we gave LGD, that was the perfect fight for Snake.
And we talk about throws. They instantly throw in the mid game. There is the theory that they could turn on Baron. Yes, Flandre's low health. Where are they going? Towards the Baron.
They took some minions with them as well, but they're onto this Baron. Gonna have no help from that one. It's only PYL left alive with Imp respawning. So this is a Baron over to Snake. LPL giveth, LPL taketh.
I feel like I just watched this in game 1, but the shoe is on the other foot. Excellent pickup and assassination there, particularly from Flandre to get a great flank on Imp.
Yeah, I hope we get a replay of that, because I think it may be Imp pushing up a little too far against someone like Flandre. He's just going to run at you at light speed. And just kind of caught out in a place where he was between a rock and a hard place and nowhere to retreat to effectively.
And so now it kind of becomes the survival game. Can LGD weather the storm, and how much can Snake do with this Baron? In the past, They had issues kind of allocating all of their resources into one lane, into one direction, and executing on when they were strong. We'll see if they've learned their lesson from game 1.
Yeah, game 1, but remember we've got different players coming in. We've got SofM, we've got Mint, and we have an SofM who is 6-4-3, so he theoretically should be in a good position. Tactical sweep doesn't land onto tank. They won't get the knock-up either. Had that slow landed, that probably would have been a kill, or at least a flash from tank. So in the end, not a pick there, but Snake are really making the most of this Baron. They're pushing up the top lane. You have SofM looking for a pick, waiting in the wing, slowing down Funny and Amy, giving a little bit more time for the retreat of Mint to come out there. They'll all take a trip back to base before regrouping and going in once more. So we've seen good things from both teams, but also bad things from both teams. So really well balanced as a game.
That said, the nice thing for LGD's composition is that they still have an abundance of wave clear. It will force Snake to be quite decisive in how they want to break these towers. They don't have the greatest siege comp. Again, they have a great diving and chasing comp, but that means that they need to be decisive that we're diving this tower or we're orchestrating and manipulating these different pressure points in terms of split pushing. Although they are kind of setting up for a dive now. Good flank position from SofM, but maybe a bit too auspicious.
But in the end, it's the tower. It's what Snake were coming for. They knock down top tower, they take down middle tower, and they are catching up rapidly on those objectives. So 26 minutes in, many towers have gone down, many dragons. SofM has found Funny. Funny's quite tanky though, so he's good for now.
But it's what we call kind of freestanding gold, or gold that's readily available because the outer towers are just so easy to walk up and push over. The hard part has only just begun for Snake, and it's pushing in these inner turrets.
Yeah, and that's the line that's really hard to crack for Snake right here. They have the ZZ Rot set up in mid lane. Flanger just being annoying with that item pickup. They got a big minion on his way into bottom lane that Snake should be able to defend. Godvy's probably just going to walk up and kill it though. Yep, rest in peace. Didn't even get time to name him. But 13-11. What's tank pushing up this mid lane, waiting for these minions to come in.
And he's got the little rhinos there, so he's got the
Void
rot
rhinos.
portal behind him.
I think they're slightly out of range actually. I think they died just as they approached the tower.
That's unfortunate.
But these minions are able to keep it in place. I mean, Funny just runs into the enemy team and suicides essentially. His team wasn't there, and I mean, he's not a person who can CC everybody. So I'm not sure what that was about, but that's just allowed Snake to break open this middle tower.
And it makes it that much easier for them to dive. The Camille ultimate is so potent and trying to stop that and guard against it. Yeah, we still have disengage from Nami and Syndra, but if those skill shots don't connect.
That's true, and many of the strengths that we've seen from the Camille's ultimate against the Sin specifically is waiting for initial engage to happen, then blocking him from getting to your allies. But in that case, he just kind of ran in there and died. Flandre is going to run towards all of these juicy, low health targets, all these squishy members of the team, and he's running after someone. It's going to be Imp. He has to flash away. W comes out there, and it's going to be Godby chucked into the team. He's on the Mega Adhesive, and all the team's coming down, but it is a kill onto Mo. All the damage out from Imp. He's able to get another kill onto Flandre. He's so close. One auto attack will do it. He's being slowed down. Tank's there. He'll jump away with the E. Min turns around and blasts down Rek'Sai. Tank does not want the re-engage, but Funny, he's in back from base, and now it's cleanup time. Tactical sweep. Didn't get him with the extra damage coming there from the Titanic Hydra, but everyone is evacuated somewhere. There's a hook shot. Knocked him back with his dying breath. Flandre maybe saves Mint and his mid laner.
And Imp, the hero that LGD do not deserve, manages to keep them alive in that game. Good deep teleport from Funny to follow up on what Imp started, but the confidence, how long he stayed in that fight, I hope we get a replay.
Yeah, I just want to see more highlight reels of Imp, to be honest, because he's been turning up. What Duke was earlier on today is what Imp is doing for LGD, because he is keeping his team in it.
Just so crisp and clean and beautiful to watch.
Really well played. The
camera guy knows
right
what's
there.
up.
Yeah, he watching English broadcast. He knows. He understands. All right, there's a replay that we wanted.
Okay.
This was just after the flash actually from him.
Yeah, and just all eyes on Imp, because it's pretty much his back against the wall and he needs to win here. PYL again sets up a beautiful double bubble, but just look at the best friends club. PYL and Imp just slowly pushing through everyone. Imp's gonna take I almost said it again, a ton of damage from the rise there, but just the confidence. Hits the Caliber net, sets up the Q, and PYL just turns around and it's like, it's okay, buddy. Splashes him a little bit, keeps him in the fight. If he had hit the Black Skunk correctly, theoretically could have continued to chase him to Gen too.
Yeah, he would have been in range, probably the extra range and hook shot, but also props to Amy. Amy was right in front of Imp when he needed to be. So the team was playing around Imp, the man himself, and You can see actually from his item build, he's picked up the Phantom Dancer, he's picked up the Sterex. He knows everyone's going to be gunning for him, so he needs to stay alive.
That's a hilarious anti-chase build.
I mean, I like it a lot, actually, and now that he doesn't have that flash for the next couple of minutes, it makes a lot of sense. Allows him to survive an extra couple seconds longer. With the damage he's dealing, and this flank that maybe opens up from LGD, everyone's pushing down the mid lane. Soon someone steps away from Snake. This could be disastrous, but LGD's trap will not come to fruition.
You always have to ask yourself, is there a reason for the enemy team to be here? And the answer is no. It's an Ocean Dragon. Maybe if they were standing near the Baron pit.
They're hoping like a support happened to go down and just be warding, but
there's definitely a reason for a team to check there.
For sure, yeah. Snake just waiting in the bushes. Everyone's just playing the same ball game at the moment, but yeah, funnel this farm into him. This is the man that you need to carry your team. And again, we're waiting for this engage to happen. This time, funny, maybe if he jumps into the enemy team by himself, could work out a bit better with his Guardian Angel, but you have to remember, all of that was set up off Funny just diving balls deep into Snake. That was a two-hero play, I think.
What's really unfortunate is that Funny is consistently getting Camille. He's played it quite a few times already in the LPL, but it doesn't quite carry the same impact as other top laners in the league getting a pick like this. It feels a bit wasted. And yeah, he is role swapped from mid into the top lane. You expect there to kind of be some growing pains as he gets comfortable with the champion pool, as he gets comfortable with the position. But
yep. Oh, Flandre jumps into Amy, but he's immediately stopped in his tracks. Great CC chain allowing him to put out the damage that he needs to, but the curtain call is keeping the tanks at bay. Amy's very low. PYL is going to have to lock this one up, but he's trapped in place. Flandre knocks him into the team, flings him in, but Funny now jumping onto mid. The nice instant exhaust will keep him alive, but a Hextech ultimatum is enough damage, allowing him to go into the backlines by himself, running down the Khazix. Flandre caught out, tank is separated from his team, but LGD, they are corralled into this small gap. They need to try and make their way out somehow. SofM, he's looking at these juicy resets right now, lands the W. Funny follows onto Flandre in this 1v2. He still has the Guardian Angel, he's flipped over. Flandre running away, tank chased after, he's got the rest of his team behind him. LGD, Imp is leading the charge into the rest of the team. Great blast comb, but the bubble will secure the kill onto Flandre. Tank stuck in here as well, and it's a sudden brawl within the Dragon Pit. Mo was unable to save his allies, and LGD come out big.
Imp ran into melee range of 3 members of Snake's backline. He literally just gave them the Imp hand.
Oh, Mo still sticking around. He's caught by the tactical sweep, forced into this bush. There's no way he can go, and Funny will finish off this kill, just not landing in the flame. And that's a kill right there for Funny, sweeping up the rest of the team for basically an unofficial ace right there for LGD.
Baron is up, but SofM is live, so there is a potential for a steal here. And that said, LGD also need to reset the map and reset their health bars before they approach this. But here comes the teleport.
Imp has started it off. He's still doing a lot of damage.
SofM
here. He's got the Hextech ultimatum.
Level 16 to level 14 on Rek'Sai, has the stronger smite.
Yeah, they just need to ward over the wall because Funny can stop him by himself. That's exactly what he's gonna do. Hextech ultimatum locks him in the arena. Tidal wave, the kill, and the curtain core, not enough. It's gonna be the Baron over to LGD, perfectly executed with the tools that they had. Min running away, great flash from him.
And
keeps himself alive.
Funny must have been listening to us because he's like, it's okay, I'll clean up my game now. 9-3-5, you know, the past blunders forgotten of him running in and just suiciding, giving up pressure for free.
Really nice to see from him, and even down to that player as well, just keeping SofM out of the pit. So overall, LGD, after the last maybe 3 or 4 plays, only 1 has gone wrong for them where Snake were able to punish, but outside of that, that was a nice clear, that felt good. But LGD have just really taken these kills and these fights to the bank.
And we'll see if they can finish what Snake failed to do. So when Snake got the Baron, they picked up, you know, 3 outer towers.
Yeah.
LGD, it's a much shorter race to run because they've already done a lot of the work and a lot of the prep setup here, but they need to break this base.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Rox, this is a very different game from what we were seeing in game 1. We already have 5 members sat in the mid lane ready to siege, and the traps are being set up before Snake just sent someone back to base. He was just like, oh, I'll just take Raptors. But right now, it's very clear what LGD want, and it's the mid lane tower.
Oh no, Flandre.
Yeah, that was not a place he wants the necessary step into, because you'll get punished hard by Funny, who jumps in. He doesn't have the Guardian Angel anymore. He has to be careful of this one. Amy leading the charge onto this inhibitor. SofM in the back lines, but no one's isolated. There's no target for him to kill right now. Inhibitor is down. Ace in the hole just sends him away. This is essentially a 3 versus 5 for the next couple seconds until SofM joins the fight. Amy blocking up these bullets coming and raining down from mid. Im needs to be careful, and he just kind of walked forward. That's a time that you do not want to be on the front lines. Funny's going to find the opportunity to jump onto tank, but I don't think this is a good fight anymore for LGD because Min is completely untouched. SofM jumping after, follows in with the leap, gets the reset, jumps into PYL, finishes him off, and Godfrey also closed in from around from a wonderful ultimate from Tank, and all in all, a 1-for-5 trade for Snake.
Did they just lose the game? They have to deal with the super creep wave, and the death timers are punishing, and Snake aren't going for it. I think SofM's going to try to splinter cell away that inhibitor, but this is not Imp's fault here. Like, yes, he's in the front line, but he's got multiple people around him. Why did Funny not tank for him?
Yeah, but he did also go very far forward. I think that last step at the end spelled his doom. I could see what LGD were going for here, but as soon as those first 2 kills went down on SofM to win the fight, it was pretty much curtains.
And this is kind of the, it really illustrates the difference between LGD and Snake, that LGD have the one thing that Snake need, which is like decisiveness. Even if it's the wrong call, as long as you're decisive in making it, something happens. LGD or Snake just kind of passively watch the map lose, and that's what gets them into trouble, like what we saw in game number 1. So like, again, LGD, they've got the Baron creeps behind them. 9 times out of 10, Tim's gonna be like, you know, we broke the inhibitor, we did our job with the Baron, let's just reset the map, we'll set up for the next one, and we'll continue to siege. LG like, nah, let's end the game right here.
This is just so LPL. Like, we came in today and it was just like, you know, honestly don't know which team's gonna win. It just depends, like, what the substitutions do for Snake, how LGD are going to adapt and come back in, you know, it's like, what LGD are we gonna see? And it's just so back and forth to the point where it's just like, yeah, classic LPL.
Have to hit you with humble brag. I did say that RNG and LGD would win today.
Yeah, I know. But to be fair, that first series could have gone either way. Like, this game, even Snake, like, we've had so many situations where they could have snowballed and just won. Maybe this one less than the last series.
All
but
I'm saying,
yes, Frosk, you called it.
Is I'm really good at flipping coins.
I mean, it's a skill, you know, in your own right. But maybe in this case, it was a double-headed coin because LGD, in the end, I feel like it's going up against a crippled Snake, you know, coming out of like the problems that they had last week, and then trying the roster rotation in the first game. So it's not a Snake performing like all the systems firing at the same time.
I kind of feel like at this point it's almost a Hydra, that it's just got too many heads and they're going in too many different directions, you know, trying to fight over the same resources. And Snake just kind of almost need to go back to basics and just figure out the iteration of their roster that works for them. This one's been a bit more stable, but I mean, you look at game 1, that really should have been their victory.
For sure. But Snake, this dragon is up. This is a redeeming chance for Snake to come back into this, and they have the priority over this as well as the vision. Starting it is a bit interesting, but Imp is already at the bite. He actually decides to recall for his last item.
And that's an issue because this Elder Drake is burning quite quickly. Imp still probably about 15 seconds out.
Yeah, he's doing the quick 100-meter. Flandre, looking for someone to flip.
They're just trying to buy time for the burn.
Sideways. And SofM's low. Where's this Mike going to go to? It is an SofM secure. Funny and Amy still on those front lines. They're not dropping any time fast, but the back line's unable to get the damage down onto Flandre. And that's going to be dropping Amy to start this one off. SofM in the back lines. He's found Funny, but he wants out. Hextech Ultimatum. Where is he gone? He's back in. He was trying to get out with the round one, but he's popped right back in there. Godfrey caught out in the back lines. He was separated from the pack. Flandre still running down him, but look at the kiting. He takes down one. He's still counting Flandre. He's still alive somehow, but he's finally going to go down as Tank comes back up. And all in all, that was a 4-for-0 with Funny on low health and everyone else be running down the mid lane.
And yes, Imp was kiting beautifully, but he was late to the Elder Dragon fight. Jin Mint opening up his ultimate, just buying time for Snake to burn down Elder. SofM secures the smite that secures them the team fight.
Luckily, the minion wave is so far back that it might be difficult for Snake to finish, but they're at least going to get this in here before respawns come up for LGD. That was really such a disastrous fight for them in terms of positioning, and Imp deciding to go back for base for that final item.
And it's just kind of been these small decision mistakes that have let Snake kind of creep back into this game. You know, the fact that Imp is just slightly too far forward. He gets hit with the Jin ultimate when they look to end instead of backing. The fact that Imp makes his back right before Elder spawns and LG are unable to kind of stall out and delay and wait for him to join the fight.
Funny, jumping into 5 members, instantly dying, losing that middle lane tower. Like, it's these individual mistakes, as you're saying, that have really led to these opportunities. But again, I think the same storyline applies from game 1. You've got to praise a team for catching a throw, and that's Snake on this side, on that red team. So they have done a good job of capitalizing on those opportunities that LGD have given them.
This is such an obnoxious comp to deal with at this late in the game as well. Like, Tank is unkillable. He had his GA. It's now been popped. But Tank's unkillable, Andre's unkillable. Tank, I believe, actually flashed over the wall in that last fight and just got right up in Imp's grill. So they're now charging down mid.
Blue Trinket finds Godby on rotation. Mint tags him up. Gonna push down mid lane.
And I really like this decision that they're not looking towards the Baron because they don't want to risk the smite challenge. They're just like, let's end it with the creep wave that we have. Although, as I say, they're like, no, let's back up and take Baron.
Yeah, I think Flandre landed the fling on Funny, but because of priority,
they can burn this.
They've jumped right towards it with the Realm Wolf. This is extremely creative from them. They need to burn it right now, though, because Amy is on his way. He is very close, but he's being blocked off by just Flandre by himself. He's crawling towards this pit. He needs this steal to work. Tidal Wave comes out. Who's going to get this fight? SofM comes up big, but now Snake are caught in this pit. Ultimate comes down. Massive scatter the weak in from Godby, and that's all of Snake disintegrating, while SofM and Mint are the only members surviving.
That is the one play you can't make, Snake. Ah! Okay, so here's the thing. Either you lose the Baron. If LGD get the Baron, they stall out long enough that any push that you would have had doesn't matter anymore, or they take the fight like that and they just smash and you lose any tempo advantage you have. Like, you have the super creep wave in mid lane. Just use it. There's no reason to rush immediately to the Baron and try to take a 50-50 smite. Yes, SofM ends up getting it, but you're still taking a 50-50 when you don't have to.
At the very least, that smite may just keep this game alive for them, but it will be that top lane tower. It will be the inhib. Another 20 seconds on Tank. 15 on Flandre, and Mo's going to respawn. I think LGD are going to keep on pushing, to be honest. They took that incredibly quickly. They have 5 members hammering down, and look how fast these towers are dying. SofM's in the back line. They tried to blow him in. He's onto the spawn pad. LGD onto this next Nexus tower. Tank has respawned. This could be a good fight by Snake, but it's just the Nexus that needs to be focused down. Imp's on top of it. They need to take out these players. It's not going to happen. LGD finish off the game, and 2-0.